Welcome back to the Happy Chicken Coop YouTube channel. Egg binding in chickens means your hen has an egg stuck somewhere in her oviduct between the uterus and the cloaca. It is actually a real emergency for your hen, and without intervention, she may develop complications and could ultimately die. Many times though, with proper intervention and care, hens can go on to live a good long life, giving you lots of nutritious eggs. Today we are going in depth with this emergency. We'll give you some tips and treatments to help your hen with this crisis. But before we get into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check out our website at thehappychickencoop.com or subscribe to our email newsletter for daily tips and tricks in raising your backyard flock. What causes egg binding? There are a variety of things that cause egg binding. Some are manageable, others not so much. The number one cause could be passing large or odd-shaped eggs. The oviduct can only stretch so far, and a large or misshapen egg can get stuck. Malfunction in the reproductive system could be another cause. Some hens are prone to problems and will lay odd or parchment eggs regularly. These could be genetic issues. Laying double yolk eggs can also be a problem. These are larger than the usual egg and therefore can get stuck. Malnutrition or a poor diet that's low in necessary vitamins, minerals, and protein can also cause egg binding, as well as a sedentary life or obesity, because your hen's muscles become weak from lack of activity or being overweight. Another possible cause could be premature laying. Hens that are forced to lay before they are fully developed often develop binding. On the other hand, elderly chickens who still lay eggs can also experience this because of their weak muscles and inactivity. Insufficient nest boxes may also cause your hen to hold her egg. Egg retention can eventually lead to egg binding. And lastly, an underlying reproductive tract infection and severe infestation of internal parasites can also cause this emergency to happen. As you can notice, some of these are readily preventable by good nutrition and attention to the health and welfare of your hens. But how do you know when a hen is egg-bound? The common signs you can look for include decreased appetite and drinking. If your hen is lethargic, only sitting around and fluffed up. If they look sick or depressed, and you notice their wings are shaky. She may also walk like a penguin. She will periodically stop walking and try to squat. Abdominal straining can be another sign. You can see the cloaca or the vent straining to expel something. And lastly, tail pumping. Her tail will pump up and down to expel the egg. You can probably apply the first symptoms to any chicken that is sick with anything. But most definitely, the telltale signs are the penguin walk and the tail pumping. Once you have seen these, you will know there is a problem brewing. So what can you do for an egg-bound chicken? First, you have to make sure that she really is egg-bound. Using a latex glove and some KY jelly or any lubricant you have on hand, very gently insert your finger into the vent. Push your finger straight back about 2 inches or so. You should be able to feel the egg. If you cannot feel an egg, she's not egg-bound. But if you do, the next step is to prepare a warm water bath with Epsom salts to relax your hen's muscles. You can use 1 cup Epsom salt per 1 gallon of water. It needs to be deep enough for your hen to sit to a depth of about 3 to 4 inches. Before you put her in the bath, give her some calcium. Calcium helps with contractions, and pairing calcium with a warm salt bath creates the ideal environment for your hen to pass her egg on her own. Then, gently put your hen into the water and let her sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. When you take her out, dry her with a towel or a hair dryer if you can. The goal is to allow her to lay the egg without any extensive intervention from you or a veterinarian. So before doing anything else, place your hen in a quiet, dark, and warm space with food and water. Apply more lubricant to the vent. Some folks will try massaging the abdomen to help with egg expulsion. Others say not to. Personally, I massage for about 10 minutes or so. The key is to be very gentle. Massage from front to back to try and stimulate the oviduct to contract. Remember, she has an egg stalk, and it's possible to break it with rough handling. Not something you really want to do. If her vent area is swollen, apply some Preparation H to reduce the swelling. You may need to repeat this treatment 3 or 4 times over several hours to try to move the egg along. If despite your best efforts, she does not pass the egg, your treatment options are getting narrower. You should seek the services of a veterinarian if you can afford them. If not, the alternative is to remove the egg yourself. This is not without hazard to your hen and should be taken as a last resort. We do not advise you to do this unless you have no other choice. Click this link to learn how to do this. Thankfully, there are ways you can actively prevent your hen from getting egg-bound. The number one you can do is to prevent premature laying. Your hen will naturally determine when she will start to lay. Do not put extra lights on for young pullets hoping to get them to lay earlier. Second, ensure a good, healthy diet. Commercial poultry feed is very specifically mixed. Unless you know how to make your own feed, including all nutrients, then buy ready-made. Number 3, place enough nesting boxes. One box for every 3 to 4 hens should be sufficient. If you have a dominant hen guarding the boxes, build or buy a couple of extra ones and set them up in a dark, quiet spot. Make sure your younger hens know about them. Number 4, exercise your hens. If your hens are sedentary or obese, they need to be encouraged to get a little exercise. Number 5, monitor your hens' health, especially the older ones. And lastly, prevent infestation. Severe infestation with worms can cause many problems. If you suspect worm overload, take a sample to the vet's office. It should be fairly inexpensive to test. Treat worms as needed and treat the whole flock. Hosing off the chicken yard and cleaning out the coop is a good idea since they do peck at poop. Egg binding is actually not common, although more cases are being seen, perhaps due to backyard hens living longer than their industrial sisters. On a personal note, I do not add light to encourage them to lay, believing that the hen will do so when she is good and ready. Winter is a time for rest and regeneration, so if they lay, great. If not, oh well. This is purely a personal choice. If you choose to add light during the winter, be aware of the possibility of problems such as egg binding occurring. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also subscribe to our email newsletters or visit our website by clicking these links. Thanks for watching!